Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of CS Cyber. I'm Chad.
And I'm Sean.
And today we're continuing the NIST 800-171 series, and we're talking about system maintenance.
Yeah, patching.
So system maintenance, right? It's critical. Proper maintenance ensures that systems remain secure, reliable, they're up to date. But the inverse of that is neglecting them can lead to vulnerabilities, system failures, non-compliance, unexpected outages, all of these other things that go south, right? So it really focuses on, the security of an organization's systems through regular updates, controlled maintenance procedures, and remote security or remote maintenance practices, right? So this really ties back to the hardware, software inventory, and kind of other pieces of NIST 800-171 that are required to be met, right? So you really need to know what you have out there before you can even really start the whole maintenance process of it, right? So,
well, it's up there at the top for a reason.
Yeah.
Know your hardware, know your software, because you can run through this entire thing and think that you've patched everything, but if you miss that one device, like you just told me before we went on the air, that you were at a client and you found a Windows 7 machine.
Yeah.
Well, if you forget about that sucker, I remember we were at a client and there was a Windows 98 machine somewhere on the network. It was 98 or 95. I can't remember what it was. And it was running some like maintenance, or it was running some financial agent.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was just some machine that it had some software on it that was just doing a task, and everybody forgot about it because it was headless. It had no monitor, and it was just sitting over in a corner.
And it just kept working.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, they were trying to track it down. They had seen it, but they couldn't physically locate it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Nobody, you get a monitor on that. Nobody even knows how to work it. Like, what is this?
I don't know.
It's like an Atari.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So some key objectives for maintenance. You want to perform regular system maintenance, control remote maintenance activities, track maintenance activities, supervise maintenance personnel. And I think people are better about patches and OS upgrades, things that are in their face, right? But this is everything in your environment. So it's your firewalls, it's your switch software, it's your AP software, it's your storage systems, So this can get pretty big pretty quick.
Yep, sure can.
So this family has 6 subcontrols. So you'll want to read through those. And it really comes down to, you're going to want a patch management process. You're going to want a change control process. A testing, logging, and monitoring. There's a lot of documentation that comes with this, as far as like policies, procedures, and things like that. So, some implementation best practices. You really want to have a maintenance window and a maintenance plan, right? So it should be no surprise when the systems are down for monthly patching or maintenance, and that really kind of goes back to your change control process. Are you performing maintenance and changes in your environment in a controlled manner?
Yep.
Or is it just kind of the Wild West where you have a bunch of admins just making changes because they're trying to get through their workday, but...
Right. Or do you have like all of your devices set to auto update?
Yeah.
Which is possible. I mean, in a smaller environment, maybe you'd like to do that.
And that could be a blessing and a curse, right?
It can.
If it just happens and it's successful every time, that's great. But if it doesn't,
and then it's bad across all the devices, then you've got a big problem.
That can be a nightmare. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
So some products that can help with this, just talking patching, right? There's Windows updates. You can just turn on Windows updates, Apple updates, whatever you got. Patching tools like Manage Engine, Avanti, things like that. They can help you in a lot of different ways, right? They can help you with some hardware, software inventory if they're scanning your network. They can help you with some software patches as well, like your Chromes, your third-party Adobes, things like that. But they're not foolproof. They're not going to go out and they're not going to upgrade your firewall or patch your firewall or anything like that. So
I've seen some firewalls getting automatic updates too now. That's been interesting.
Just from the manufacturer, like
it's so CISA had been pushing this Secure by Design initiative, and it was coming along that route. So a lot of vendors were getting these auto update buttons put on there because A lot of the stuff that you see nowadays in the news, like there was just recently an article floating around about a vulnerability in the 40 OS with Fortinet, and that was a patch that had been issued previously. So my point is that some of the stuff that you see are new vulnerabilities, not new. They're exploits against old vulnerabilities, and people are taking years to patch their edge devices because they're afraid to patch them.
Yeah, and the longer you don't patch whatever it is, the worse off you're going to be when you do patch it. Does that make sense?
It does.
So, if you're 5 revs behind on your firewall, it's probably not going to be as smooth as running the updater.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Because even with 40 OS, if you get that far behind, there's a lot of chaining that has to be done.
Yeah. And that's a pain.
Yeah, it is a pain.
So keep an eye on your server devices. Just don't think of it as just as patching, right?
Right.
But your environment as a whole, and all the maintenance that goes with that. So just some common challenges that I wanted to kind of call out. So ensuring timely updates. If 0 days come out, what's your process for deploying those? What's your process for maybe just patch criticals and highs within 30 days or 60 days? So come up with a policy and a procedure that works for you, but you have to do it repeatedly. It's not a one-time and done type thing.
Right.
So you got anything else to add here? I think that's...
Yeah, I think this pretty much wraps it up. We had talked about some tools like for privilege access management, like Beyond Trust. We talked about that a little bit.
Yeah. So if you have... I think that's a good point, right? So Beyond Trust can provide not only remote management, but it also provides like screen recording and things like that. So a lot of logging that goes with this that you can use as well. So you all right there?
Yep, I'm good.
All right. So I think that's all we got today. We're going to pick it back up next week with another episode. I think we're about halfway through the NIST 800-171 series. So
yep, sure.
I hope you guys are getting something out of it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to Sean or I, and we'd be happy to help.
Yep, happy to do that. See you in the next one.
See ya.